Nice to see you.
Rob, if you need a name, just let me know.
Where's Speed?
Just wait for the door to close.
The door, she is closed.
Go ahead.
Okay. I think Robert probably set out to make your character wholly unlikable, but you were charming anyway, so talk a little bit about that character, and did you have fun working him?
Oh yeah, I had a ball playing Agent Sands. I kind of saw him as this guy who would be, you know, he was like a guy who was probably really disliked by his fellow CIA agents, and I think that they sent him as far away as they possibly could. And him being very bitter about that, and wanting to create as much havoc and basically kill as many people as he could. You know, like the idea of behind the disguises, you know, the bad disguises and stuff was sort of like, he would want someone to say something about them, just so that he could kill them for mentioning it, you know. And like a guy, you know, I've known a couple of guys over the years who were, at their very core, were absolute monsters, but somehow charming in a weird way, and sympathetic in a weird way, you know.
So what did you think of your demise? Was that...
It seemed fitting, you know. It seemed fitting. It seemed like the right way for Agent Sands to, yeah, to go out.
Talk a little bit about working with Robert, and this was your first project with him.
Yeah, great, you know. There's nothing... My only complaint on the film was that it was so brief, you know. I was only there, I think, like 9 days. And I just wanted to, you know, I just wanted to keep shooting. He was so much fun, and so, the atmosphere was so open and free that you could try anything, you know. He was really open to stuff, you know. I mean, you know, I'd call him on the phone and say, hey, I think, you know, I think Agent Sands is reading, you know, a Judy Garland biography. I think that, you know, and he's like, okay, sure, you know. I think he's wearing a fake beard here. Oh yeah, okay, let's try it. You know, just real open, you know, he's great.
I know you wrote some music, like sort of a leitmotif for your character.
Oh, yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
Well, because Robert, you know, Robert's a musician, and I was a musician. I've been a musician for years and years, and we were just talking about how he was explaining how he's, you know, had scored a lot of the pieces in his films, and how fun it was. He really enjoyed it, and he just said, well, why don't you, like, you know, why don't you write a theme song, you know, a piece for your character, something that would fit, you know. So it's kind of like a side project. It seemed like fun, so I did it, you know. I was looking for, I wanted a piece that was kind of, yeah, like Ennio Morricone, you know, goes S&M, you know. I thought that would fit Agent Sands, so that's kind of what I did, you know.
Okay, unrelated, but I'm really curious as to your opinion on Arnold Schwarzenegger running for governor, because you've been out of the country for a while, but you're, I think, politically minded.
Well, I'd say, I mean, I'd say at this point, why not? You know what I mean? Why not? Let's do it. Let's have it. I mean, yeah, why not? You know what I mean? I mean, we've seen all kinds of weird stuff, and there have been some amazing quotes from, you know, incredibly powerful and upper echelon, high-end politicians that have made for just remarkable and astoundingly satisfying reading. So why not, you know? I mean, might be fun.
Doesn't make you want to move back, does it?
Anything she wants as far as I'm just like, and we matched. Okay. We made you nervous, didn't we?
Yes.
Poor thing.
Do you have any camera preferences?
No, I'm not on.
Okay.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how you
Nice to
doing?
meet
Could
you.
you slate your name into the microphone once you sit down, please?
Dana Schimmel, AP.
I'll give you 2 and then 1. You have 4 minutes. I'll give
Okay.
you 2, 1, and 30 seconds. Yes, Steve, go ahead.
You gotta top that energy.
Well, I guess first off, if you can tell this Quentin Tarantino-inspired story of how Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Right. This is all his idea. This is all his fault. It was amazing on the set of Desperado, and I hadn't thought of this at all. I was doing Desperado really to just show what I could do with the movie. Quentin walks on the set to shoot Desperado, his scene. He goes, "Wow, this is great. This is your Dollars trilogy. You have to do the 3rd one now." What are you talking about? He said, "No one's done this since Sergio Leone. You've got to make the 3rd part, but it's got to be epic, and you got to call it Once Upon a Time in Mexico." So he gave me the title and everything. I thought, well, let's just finish this movie first and see what happens. And so years later, the studio wanted another movie, and I thought, well, I can't. Now that I got that in my mind, I got to do that now.
I want you to just go down and list all of the roles you played in this film.
Oh my God.
And then tell me the advantages and also the disadvantages of...
I don't know if there's any disadvantages to doing a movie that's stripped down. I mean, I really thought since the first Mariachi I did with no crew, out of necessity, I really enjoyed making a movie that way. And I thought, that's real movie making when you don't split out the job so much that you can't even tell what's going on anymore. So I thought, I really like keeping the crew small. Everyone does multiple jobs, and it becomes much more like a family-run restaurant where you're sweeping the floor and taking orders and doing short order cooking. And you're just more personally involved. And I thought, especially because the movie was going to be bigger, that I didn't want it to get out of hand. I wanted to keep it very personal. So I had to go back and do jobs I hadn't done since Mariachi.
Such as?
Including like besides the photography, the production design, the score, the editing. I usually do that anyway, the editing and the shooting and the mixing. But it had to become a homemade movie again. Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the cast.
And the cast, I think that's why it's easier to get actors to show up, because they know they're making a filmmaker's movie. They're not just going to be on a studio movie. They know that you are really in charge of the production, which means that they'll get a lot of collaboration and get to bring a lot of ideas forth. So you put the call out and actors really show up. So this one in particular had a large cast, and we were just so fortunate to get Willem Dafoe and Johnny Depp and Mickey Rourke and just people that I've always wanted to work with.
I read Salma talked a little bit about how it had a very definite Latin atmosphere. Did that just come naturally? Is that something you set out to do, or is it important to you?
It's something that just happened sort of naturally, but it was enhanced more by the fact that we're shooting in the middle of Mexico, and it's a very romantic sort of Mexican town, San Miguel de Allende, which is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Anywhere you point the camera. I mean, that's not my production design. That's just me pointing and shooting. That's just what it looks like. So, and mostly the crew was Mexican. So it just had this very romantic feel to it. I think that's what she meant.
What's up next?
Next, I'm doing a CG animated movie and a thriller I'm going to shoot at the end of the year. Yeah.
Great, thanks. Sorry.
Thank you.
You're the time, no problem.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Nice to meet you.
It's
Thank
great.
you.
It's
Thank you.
great.
Appreciate
I
that.
like this.
Pretty groovy. How you doing?
Good.
Excellent.
Don't worry how it looks, kids.
I'm not on. It's not about me.
It's not about you.
No.
Okay,
It
and if
never
you
is.
guys are ready, you have speed.
Rockin', thank you very much. Well, congratulations. I love this film.
Good.
It must have been a complete hoot and a holler to be in.
It was, I had a good time.
I understand the whole town was out regularly to witness a lot of the filming. How was the atmosphere on set?
We had a good time, yeah.
What were specific moments where you're just like, I'm so pleased I signed up to do this? Or were there? Or moments where you doubted it?
No, working with Robert and the fact that he had, Willem and Johnny Depp in the movie was good enough for me,
Now, he obviously has much more of a hands-on sort of approach than other directors. What makes an acting experience different with Robert Rodriguez than other directors?
He knows what he wants. He knows how to get it, and I think he hires people that are. He knows he can get it from, really. Yeah.
And what about? I mean, the canine. Obviously, this is not the same canine we had in the movie.
No, you're the first one to know that.
Really?
Everybody else thinks this is the dog.
No.
I know.
Like we're with it.
Yeah.
But the canine obviously lent itself to you. You were comfortable with it. How was working with him?
The canine.
Doggy.
The dog. Yeah. The canine.
I got polysyllabic there.
I never thought of you as a canine. Oh.
Huggy bear. Was it fun working with the Chihuahua?
Yeah, they had a really good Chihuahua man on the set, you know. The guy who takes care of the dogs, he was really good with the dog, you know. He didn't overwork it, you know. He told Robert would go, I need the dog. The guy would say, well, Robert, cool it. The dog needs to rest a little more, you know. So the guy was really good with the dogs, you know.
Excellent.
And from what I heard, he lives with 2 monkeys, about 8 snakes, and a mountain lion.
Dang it. That's quite a menagerie.
And several chihuahuas in one studio apartment in Mexico City.
Oh my God. And the snake doesn't go.
Oh, he's got a bear too, and they all live together. And I thought, wow, this guy's incredible. Yeah, and he's a little bent guy, you know. He got mugged in Mexico City, and I think when they paid him on some movie job, like a whole bunch of 12-year-olds jumped him, beat the fuck out of him, and now he's like all bent. When he walks, you see him up the street, he walks sideways.
Well, I'd have a bear and a mountain lion with me too.
I know. Well, no, they didn't attack him. The kids did.
No, I mean, I'd have them move in with me.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
You need
Well,
that sort of thing.
you should get his name. He'd be great for you to interview.
Yeah, he sounds fascinating.
Oh, he's you should ask Robert about this guy.
I will.
The little
what about
crooked
your
guy.
experience on set? I mean, going down to Mexico to make the movie, what was it like being down there? I mean, the location.
Well, I got to hang out with him, which was great, because we got to just talk about the dogs, you know. I spent most of my time with him. He brought the monkey over, you know. Monkey drove. She didn't like the monkey at all. You didn't like the monkey, did you? Huh? Ooh. Remember the monkey? Hey, want to see the monkey? See?
Is that something you're going to double check on that next movie you sign up for? If they're monkeys, I'm not coming.
No, because the monkeys get a little wild with their hands, and she doesn't like that.
Oh, yeah.
You
I
know.
guess you can't really be like, control
And he said it was a tame monkey.
Tame monkey, my ass.
Right?
Yeah.
Have you spent any time with monkeys?
I have. They're uniquely challenging.
I know.
So overall, how would you say like being this character was a treat for you, or not?
No, it was. It was.
Why?
Yeah. What?
Why was it?
Why was what?
Why was being the character a treat?
Oh. He was just a lively kind of guy. He got himself in a little mix-up in Mexico and had to get out of it, so he became a snitch, you know, which anybody would do to get out of trouble, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
If I was a drug lord,
Yeah, I bet you would.
Hussy,
Right.
I would definitely make my way out.
You would.
Yes, I would.
Hear that, Loki?
So next time I'm a drug lord's pimp, you can just,
Wow.
or what is it? I wouldn't be their pimp. I'd be their bitch, probably, huh?